How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
the end. There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? Oh, I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final time. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be out you.
Won't anybody help us? What are we running for? When there's nowhere we can run to anymore. We can't afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. And with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible.
Who the fuck is Karlyn? She's just some sweet lady. She's like in a knitting. She does like a knitting stream. She's like a knitting YouTuber. She does knitting.
Can we grow up a little bit and
Alt
not
Girl
be
sent $200.
retarded?
Have you
Please.
seen the work of Karlyn Borysenko? Anti-commie cult leader and is obsessed with looking at what actual far-left communists are talking about and organizing today, infiltrating them. They infiltrated the universities, schools, media. She has the receipts to back it up. Primary source evidence. Infestation is dire and she calls Republicans idiots eating slop. Agree.
Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, oh, I know Karlyn B. She's solid. She's funny. I
The
like
great
her.
noticer sent $200.
Literally.
So
not
it's,
Ian.
it's not because I haven't dangled my junk into the combat zone on purpose to get some camera footage, but that's the big part of what's the
Is
problem.
that what you call reporters?
Go
and live
under, if
streaming?
you're going to do it,
Yeah,
go
seriously.
undercover. Otherwise you're wearing a hunk of meat in a lion's den. Nick Shirley, I love you. Take care of yourself, man. Karlyn Borysenko went undercover. Do stuff like that. Like if you want to expose this thing, don't pariah,
But
please.
Ian, here's and I agree with you to an extent.
I watch these streams, and I've been watching a self-professed fascist named Karlyn, who drinks and basically roasts these live streams. But weirdly, she has apparently embedded herself with Antifa before, and so it's such a funny stream because
So they tolerate her?
oh no, not anymore. She no. She's like, I mean, I don't know if she's trolling or not, but on her stream, she's like, I am a fascist.
Right.
So she's proudly proclaiming she's a fascist. I don't know how much of that is trolling, how much of it is real, but conservatives who are drawn to her stream will say things like, these people are funded by George Soros. And it's the funniest thing because she gets so mad. And she's like, get off fucking Fox News. Stop watching that shit. It's all wrong. Do these people look funded? Do these people look like they have money? They're not funded. It's so, and I guess her bigger point is by saying these are funded agitators and not saying what they actually are, which is anti-capitalist revolutionaries, you dilute what's really happening. Because what's really happening, according to her, and I think a fair amount of people, is that the economy is so fucked. The middle class is diminishing so much. The cost of living is so high that this is the perfect soil you need if you wanted communism to grow anywhere.
What's up, everyone? What's up? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. Hey, did anyone watch me chat with Harrison Smith this morning? Yo, I had to get up so early. You guys don't even know. You don't know how painful this morning was for me. I stay awake until 3 or 4 in the morning every morning religiously. And then you know what? I sleep in because I work till 3 or 4 in the morning, and then I sleep in till 10, 11, noon, 1, 2, something like that. Something in that range. And you know what? You know how much I like Harrison Smith? I got my ass out of bed at 9 a.m. It was so painful. It was so awful, and I hated it, and I would only do that to talk to Harrison Smith on InfoWars because Harrison is the man. He is the best. Harrison always asks the best questions. I'm going to clip the interview and make sure people have access to it if you didn't see it. Because it was kind of, I think I did good. I think I did good. And do you know what my favorite part of the interview was? Do you know what my favorite part was? When Harrison, and I don't know if, I think he did this accidentally, but it was just it was beautiful. When Harrison lobbed me the softball of saying, Data Republican says this. And I got to go, oh yeah? Well, I'm really sorry, but I don't believe anything Data Republican says. I think Data Republican is a narrative shill that I have caught spreading misinformation on multiple occasions. And here are all the reasons that I think Data Republican is incorrect about this and doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. And it was like, I don't know if Harrison knew that Data Republican has literally defamed me after I exposed her for spreading misinformation. For people who are new, you might not know this. Months and months and like this is going back to like the June riots in Los Angeles. This is going back to like mid last year. Data Republican was spreading misinformation all over the internet about who was funding the riots in Los Angeles in June. And I caught her red-handed. But I was nice about it at first. I DM'd her privately and I said, hey, I don't know if, like, people think I always just attack people in public. No, I don't. I DM'd Data Republican privately and I said, hey, just FYI, I monitor these groups and here's evidence that you're wrong. And she fucking ignored it. And then I DM'd her again and she fucking ignored it again. And then she kept doubling down on the misinformation. And I was like, oh, I get it. You're a narrative shill account that's being paid to lie to people. I got your ass, Data Republican. And so then I exposed her to the entire internet. And then Data Republican smeared me and defamed me and lied about me, doing exactly what I knew she would do because she is a narrative shill account that is paid to lie to people and advance a political narrative. And you know what? I gotta say, when Harrison was like, what do you think about this thing Data Republican said? I was like, I was ready to go. And it was so funny. I don't know if Harrison did it on purpose or not. I kind of think he didn't, and he really didn't know. But when I started answering the question, it was the funniest shit because Harrison did this. He was like trying, I think like it looked to me like he was trying to stifle a smile. I think like in his head he was probably really fucking amused, but he was trying to keep the face and be professional about it. And I was like, that was the best. That made getting up at 9 a.m. and getting my ass out of bed early. It made it all just that little kind of like that was fucking gold. I love and appreciate Harrison Smith. I'm so glad he had me back on again. I hope I get to talk to him again real soon. But we got some other stuff to get into. Because another thing that I decided to do, and listen, I was not going to do this until this morning. This morning I woke up and an inspiration bolt hit. And I was like, Karlyn, you're going on InfoWars in an hour. Wouldn't it be nice if before you went on InfoWars, you just put all this journalism out there? You just put this out there and you said, hey guys, here's a whole bunch of data that I have. And maybe you guys want to help me out with this because I don't have the time to fucking do this. I've been talking about this for a while. Months and months ago, I compiled a list of all the different immigrant rights organizations that are supporting these ICE reporting hotlines that the left has been using for months. I have evidence of national coordination between all these things. And I've been sitting on it because I just honestly haven't had time to get to it. And I've tried giving it to people. I actually tried, you guys don't know this, I tried giving this information to different conservative organizations that I'm not going to name last year. I tried to give this information to no less than 2 different conservative organizations last year. And they didn't want to bite on it, and they weren't interested in it, and they didn't want to do anything with it. And so I was like, all right, fine. And then I kind of sat on it. I was like, well, eventually when I have the resources, I'm going to try to crowd source this journalism. I'm going to try to spend some time on this. Because the thing about this is for people who don't know, it's basically I have, and you can find it in this post over on my Substack if you want. I have a giant ass spreadsheet of all the immigrant rights organizations that are supporting all of these anti-ICE reporting hotlines. What happens is people spot ICE in their neighborhood. They call the hotline. The hotline then relays the information to the signal groups. So these are all coordinated in with the signal groups, and it's all the organizations running it. And I would bet all the money in my bank account that many of these organizations have local and state funding, if not federal funding. These organizations are all over the country. The hotlines are all over the country. They're in red and blue states. I've literally been sitting on this information because I didn't know what to fucking do with it, because I tried to get it out there and no one wanted to pay attention, per fucking usual. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to wait. And I'm going to work on this when I have the time. Well, with Cam Higbee releasing this signal stuff, I was again, looking at this information. I'm like, you know what, Karlyn, this actually seems important. Now that Cam Higbee's had all this success, I've been trying to talk about the signal groups for months. I said this on with Harrison this morning. It's and Harrison even said it. He's like, we're not surprised by this. I'm like, no, dude, I've been reporting on the signal groups for months. None of the signal information Cam Higbee has, and this is no offense to Cam, I think he has done good work here. I really do. I am not trying to shit on Cam Higbee. I think his reporting here is solid, and it was necessary, and it's good, and I love that it's getting out there more, but it was not new information. It really wasn't. For anyone who is paying attention to the work I've been doing on the far left for at least 6 months leading up to this, it was not new information. But it does get a lot more reach now. And so I kind of had this information and I was like, this kind of feels important. it feels like it's related to this thing because it's the hotlines that are calling into the signal groups, and the hotlines are what connect you to all the organizations that are funding the hotlines, and that gets you the funding of the organization. And oh wait, it does look like there's pretty clear national coordination because they're literally all using the same fucking propaganda, which I also linked in this document. If you go into this, you're going to find a folder full of zines. Zines are the propaganda arm of the far left, basically. And in these zines, they have the propaganda that they're using all over the country. And guess what? It all looks the fucking same for every fucking organization all over the country. So I was like, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like this information proves national coordination and funding, and maybe someone should look at that. Yo, we got Cynthia in with the 10 channel memberships. W's in the chat for our queen, Cynthia. Thank you so much, my dear. I really appreciate you starting us off strong today. Welcome to the 10 new channel members. So, a couple days ago, I slid into Cam Higby's DMs because Cam follows me on Twitter, and I said, hey, Cam, how would you like to get access to this information? What would you say if I told you that I had this information? Well, Cam never responded to me. I even gave Cam a little gift. I gave Cam a link to a Signal chat in Texas because, yes, they're in Texas. I gave Cam a link to a Signal chat in Texas that I had access to that I wasn't going to do anything with. So I gave all this information to Cam Higby, and I said, I have this. Do you want this? And I never got a response from him. So I'm like, all right, moving on. Next, I reached out through an intermediary to Jack Posobiec, and I said, hey, can you tell Jack that I have this information? And the person came back and said, okay, Jack just wants you to give it to him. And I'm kind of like, no, I don't think that's going to happen, because the thing of it is like all I wanted in the situation with Jack Posobiec is to talk to him, to walk him through it so that he understood it. And then I was more than willing to say, go forth and fucking conquer, motherfucker. Because again, I don't have the time to do this. Now, apparently that wasn't good enough for Jack Posobiec. Jack Posobiec just wanted to be handed all the information and have me go away, which to me tells me he was going to steal my work and bastardize it into something it wasn't meant to be. So I tried there too. And then I was going to reach out to some other people, but I had the stroke of inspiration this morning. I was like, listen, Karlyn, you've been trying to reach out to conservative organizations for months about this stuff, and it hasn't worked, and they haven't bitten on it. You tried to reach out to Cam Higby. He didn't respond. You tried to reach out to Jack Posobiec, and it kind of seems like he might have tried to steal your journalism, and he also didn't respond. So maybe we should just put all this stuff in the public for the world to see and let the crowd take care of it. Let that way, if Cam Higby wants it, Cam Higby can have it. If Jack Posobiec decides he wants to come and play, he can come and play. But guess what? Everyone knows where it came from. And that's really what I wanted at the end of the day. Honestly, I spent a lot of time putting this list together. That's part of the reason I didn't have any additional time to go and do all the other research. I need other people to go and run this down because I have different priorities. I have teaching I want to do about what's going on. I have a lot of things that I'm working on. I don't have the time to go do this. And so if other people want to go do it, though, that's cool. I'm totally fine with them taking my information and just using it. But everyone knows where it fucking came from, and that's what's important to me, because credit is actually important when you are an independent journalist that's completely funded by the public. People need to know where shit comes from. It's just the way it goes. Thank you for the $20 super chat, OC. Hope you're doing good today. Every time I try to explain liberals and Democrats are not communists and show proof, they boot me off YouTube or X or other social media. I have a lot of respect for you. I don't know how you do it. Yeah, it does get a little mind-boggling after a while, doesn't it? It does indeed. Anyway, if you guys want access to this information, if you want to research all these different organizations, because again, I am fairly certain, I'm like 98% positive that if people dig into the funding sources of all the organizations that I put in this document, you are going to be able to find links to state and local government at a minimum. You're going to be able to make all sorts of connections between the groups. Listen, man, you want to do RICO charges? This is RICO charges right here. This is what actually might lead to RICO charges. I just don't have the time to do the journalism. So I am putting it out into the world, and everyone can have it as long as everyone fucking remembers who had it in the first place, way before Cam Higby reported on the Signal chats, because I've been reporting on this shit for a solid fucking year. If you want to support the work I'm doing and keep me in business because you appreciate independent journalism just like this, head over to my Substack. That is Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. Sign up for a membership, $8 a month, $80 a year. That really keeps me in business. It does help out a lot. You can also send in super chats or channel memberships to the channel, which also is a great way to support my work. Thank you, Drew, for being a member of the channel for 15 months. Cheers, Doc. Much love. Cheers to you, Drew. I'm not supposed to cheers with water, but it's sparkling water, so it probably doesn't count. Thank you. Thank you. So another thing that happened after, I need your guys' help though. I need your guys' help on this story. So I made a little video today. Some of you may have seen it. And I was basically just talking about all this evidence I have about the national coordination between these hotlines. Can you guys help me make this tweet go viral? This tweet is already getting a boat ton of views. Listen, it's already got 41,000 views. That's nothing to sneeze about. This is a video where I'm basically breaking down, here is the data I have, and doing, kind of push to try to get people to look at this and research it and all of that stuff. And so can you guys help me make this go viral? Let me just put this in the chat. Make this go viral. Everyone needs to log into their Twitter account right now. Let's get as many views on this as possible. The more views we get, the more likely it is that independent journalism will actually get done and conservative media will report on something for once. Because if the past couple weeks have taught you nothing, it's that conservative media and politicians and pundits and commentators literally only care about something if it goes viral on Twitter. This is the reality, folks. If you're like, I don't have a Twitter and I don't want one, I don't give a fuck. Sign up for Twitter. Because it will always be Twitter for me. It will never be X. I've been on Twitter since 2006 or something like that. It will always be Twitter for me. And that's just the way it goes. Anyway, get the fuck on the platform. I don't want to hear any crying or complaining, because the thing of it is, if we can't make stuff go viral on Twitter as a community, and I'm not just talking about my tweets, I'll help with other people's tweets too. I don't really care. If I think you've got valuable information out there that people need to see, I will help with it every day of the week. I retweet people all the time. I amplify people all the time. But we need to make this stuff go viral on Twitter, because it is the only thing that right-wing media cares about, is what goes viral on Twitter. And the only thing the politicians care about is what goes viral on Twitter. And the only thing the commentators care about is what goes viral on Twitter. And this is the reality in which we are faced. They don't care about real information. They don't care about reporting. If it doesn't go viral on Twitter, it doesn't fucking matter. So I need everyone's help in making this tweet go viral. I need you to do 5 things on the tweet. We need you to bookmark the tweet, because that contributes to the algorithm. It tells the algorithm people want to come back to this later, so the algorithm boosts it. I need you to put a heart on the tweet, because that tells Twitter that people like it. I need you to reply to it. You can reply with whatever you want. Tag people you want to see in it. Say whatever you want. Keep it nice and appropriate and stuff like that, I guess. But make sure you're replying to it. And then I need you to repost it. And then I need you to quote tweet it and say whatever you want in the quote tweet. Just do not start it with a handle. Start it with a real letter. Start it with a real word or a period. Don't start it with a handle, because that impacts the algorithm. Do all those 5 things and we will make this tweet go viral. And then maybe, just maybe, people will do journalism and actually look at this information, and I'll appreciate it, because I don't have the time to deal with this. So I would appreciate help with that, everyone. Speaking of Twitter, Pam Bondi has announced that she has finally made arrests. Actually, you know what? Let's come back to this. I have one more thing on the Twitter thing. Let's come back to Pam. We're putting Pam aside for a second. I want to just do a quick check-in with our boy Lance, because I'm going to torture the young one just a little bit more. I covered this on the show yesterday, but Lance video, after I said, I think Cam Higby's work is good, but the fact that conservatives are just discovering these signal groups is fucking stupid. Lance Video replied to me yesterday or the other day, and he said, "You're going to lose followers. Don't you know that you're going to lose followers if you are critical of my friends?" Well, that wasn't actually the case at all in any way. And I just want to do a quick check-in on this, because I'll show people my stats, man. I'll show people my stats. Let's see. Have I lost followers in the last day or so? No, I've gained almost 3,000. Lance, I've gained almost 3,000 followers in the last couple days, bro. You told me I was going to lose followers, and I've gained almost 3,000, and I've only lost 121. And let's be honest, the 121 people I lost were probably fucking Zionists, and like, that's fine. I don't really care. And so bless his heart. Bless his heart. He tries so hard. He's young. Well, you got to give him time. It's got to marinate a little bit more. He's got to smarten up. Zoomers think they know everything, but really they know nothing. W's in the chat for Wolf. 5 channel memberships. Really do appreciate it, Wolf. Congrats to all the new channel members. All right, let's go back to Pam. Let's go back to Pam. Pam has announced, guys, they have finally, at long last, arrested people in Minnesota. And I saw all these Republican politicians going today. They're like, Pam Bondi is tough as nails. Pam Bondi announced today, I'm on the ground in Minneapolis today. Federal agents have arrested 16 rioters for allegedly assaulting law enforcement. People who have been resisting and impeding our federal law enforcement agents. We expect more arrests to come. Pam Bondi is tough as nails, according to the GOP politicians. There are over 20,000 far-left anti-ICE activists actively working to impede the work of ICE and law enforcement in Minneapolis right now. 20,000. Pam has arrested 16 of the 20,000 far-left radical activists in Minneapolis. Hey, I mean, it's a good news, bad news situation, right? The good news is, guys, did you know the federal government can actually just arrest people? Did you know they can actually just arrest people? Because I found this to be a little bit confusing over the past several months, because I keep hearing from conservatives, the federal government can't do anything. They can't arrest people. The federal government can't do anything. They can't arrest people. It's all the local and states. The federal government can't do anything. This is the excuse that I've heard from conservatives over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for why there haven't been any Antifa arrests since Trump implemented the executive order calling Antifa a terrorist organization. I keep hearing from the right, they can't just do that, Karlyn. Why do you think they can just do that? Well, apparently they can, actually. Apparently they literally just can, conservatives. But the larger point is this. 16 out of 20,000 is 0.0008%. You could argue, I suppose, well, Karlyn, the left is going to see it as a deterrent. Well, are they, though? But are they? I'm going to bet not. Because I'm going to bet, I would bet all the money in my bank account that these people are going to get off. How, like, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Good thing it's not a real bet and I won't actually lose my money either way. How many people in the chat think that these 16 people that Pam arrested is actually going to go to jail? And how many people think they're just going to get off? 1 in the chat if you think they're actually going to go to jail. 2 in the chat if you think all 16 of them are going to get off. I'm honestly curious. Because I don't be influenced by my opinion, but I don't think they're going to jail. 1 if you think they're going to jail. 2 if you think they're going to get off. Yeah, I think most people think they're going to get off. Yeah. And so getting arrested is, of course, a minor inconvenience or perhaps a major inconvenience, depending on how long your ass has to sit in jail and how much your lawyer's bills are. But do I think that this is going to deter the rest of the 20,000 plus far left radical activists right now in Minneapolis? No, I don't, but I could be wrong. I guess we will see. So today for you, I have a couple things we're going to watch. We're going to do a little bit of an abbreviated stream again because there is a spy stream starting at 6:30, 6:45-ish, whether the far left likes it or not, Stacy. But I got a couple things I want to just dig into a little bit before we get to spy stream later. Number one, apparently Mercado Media was crying on the internet this morning about people allegedly finding out where he lives. And so, I mean, the video's like 10 minutes long. Do you guys want to listen to Mercado Media cry about being doxxed? I mean, it's obviously really sad and doxing shouldn't happen and all that stuff. But do you guys want to just take 10 minutes and listen to Mercado Media cry about it? I think we should. I think we've earned it. I think we've already had a tough week. And I think we should listen to him cry. And that's going to be the first thing that we're going to do. And then I haven't listened to or watched Vox in years. And like 4 days ago, Keith Ellison gave an interview to Vox about what's going on in Minneapolis. And I was like, well, that's timely, isn't it? And you know, there's a question here. Actually, first, Cynthia in with another W. 5 channel memberships from Cynthia. Thanks so much, Cynthia. Really appreciate it. But there was a question earlier from Human Imagination here in the chat. Is Ellison a Dem or a leftist? I honestly don't know the answer to this. I truly don't know the answer to this. Now, if you ask Republicans, they're going to say, he's a communist. But I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true. I actually haven't listened to Keith Ellison in years. But guess what? Guess what? When we listen to this interview, we're going to be able to tell. Just by virtue of the language he's using, by virtue of the phrasing he's using, by virtue of the talking points he hits on, we're going to be able to tell, is Keith Ellison really an evil socialist that's trying to destroy everything? Or is he an average normie Democrat or liberal or progressive? I truly don't know the answer, but I think we're going to be able to tell whether or not he is a communist very, very, very quickly. And Republicans, just remember, your feelings don't fucking matter to my analysis. So I know I'm going to have Republicans that are going to be angry with me in my chat if I end up saying he's literally just a normie, guys. He's not actually a fucking socialist at all. But that's okay. People can have their feelings, and if they display them in a way I don't like in my chat and they whine and they complain, then they get what they get. So that's what I've got on the docket, guys. Let's get into it. We're going to start with Mercado Media crying, and then we will be doing spy stream around 6:30. So we're going to be going to that. Welcome to the channel, Frank. Welcome to the cult. Your life is over. You're never leaving. And we're going to change the way you view the world. And, you know, you'll have friends in the revolution, though, and it'll be awesome. Let's listen to Mercado Media cry. Mount the like button if you're ready for this. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the cult. Appreciate it.
All right. You're checking out BG's chat?
Let me fast forward a little bit till he gets
I've been waiting, and I want to make sure, because I haven't left. I've been sitting in this spot for like 2 hours now, or like an hour.
Can you just
Facebook page and shit, but yeah, they found where I live.
There it is.
Jaden Scott was outside of my apartment. I don't know if they waited until I had left or what.
Well, I wasn't on with Alex Jones, but I did talk to Harrison Smith, who is a gentleman and a scholar. And so I appreciated that. Thanks so much for the super chat.
I go home and figure all that out. So it's all on video. They recorded themselves doing it, and it's on apartment video. So we got to go find out who let them in. I'm obviously going to be moving like that. I have enough support to where that's not going to be a problem or anything, and that's fine because I need to move a little differently anyways. For the past few years, I've been moving without really worrying about my personal safety that much because, like, who cares about a YouTuber covering geopolitics? I mean, in terms of, like, trying to threaten them. But this work requires a lot more, you know, I just gotta move different type shit. So, and that stuff, I wasn't moving like this.
No, there are no Stacy updates. There are a lot of contenders that might be Stacy, but no one has presented me convincing evidence that they've actually found her yet. But we have a lot of candidates, and I'm sure we're going to find her ass at some point. But the thing of it is it doesn't actually matter. We're going to do spy stream regardless of whether or not she tattles on me. And it's honestly more fun for me if she does, because there is no way they can figure out what my name is in those streams, because I use a fake name when I sign up for them. So it's actually more fun for the leftists to run and tattle on me and then to watch them freak out about it. So I actually think this is a positive development, if I'm being honest about it. Hey, thanks for the super chat. If the commies hate Republicans and Democrats equally, then why are they more active under Republicans? Because it's easier for them to recruit and radicalize disaffected lefties to the far left. They were extremely active under Biden. You guys just didn't know it because your conservative retard media didn't report on it. Bro, what do you think I was doing the entire Biden administration? I was literally reporting on the far left during the entire fucking Biden administration. I went undercover at multiple of their events during the Biden administration. The bulk of my work covering and analyzing the far left took place under Biden. It did not take place under Trump. The reason that you think they're more active under Trump is because your conservative retard media wasn't reporting on anything they were actually doing under the Biden administration. That's why. It's not that they're more active, it's that it's more visible to you. But also, they can utilize Trump to recruit and radicalize disaffected lefties who are pissed off at the Democratic Party. It's really that simple. It's a recruiting op, nothing more. Thank you for being a member of the channel for 4 months. Note to all newbies, Yell tickets to appease the queen are $5 a piece, payable to YouTube Super Chats. Thanks for your attention and welcome to the cult. Enjoy your stay. Yeah, that's true. If I yell at you in the chat because you're being a retard, you owe me $5 or more, depending on how badly I yelled at you. Thanks so much.
You know, for the last few years. So, Jaden Scott, you know, Cam Higbee, I don't know if he's involved or not. I'm just saying that because he was in the video that I posted out on Instagram yesterday. Jaden Scott posted that Cam Higbee himself and Zach X were coming back to Minneapolis to do another Patriot thing, and I reposted it. All I said was they're coming. I mean, I called them. Here, I'll tell you what I had posted. You guys got to follow me on Instagram. This is all posted on my Instagram, on Mercado Media, and then also my personal one. So I called them the Temu Punishers, the No Meals Team 6-7 Basement Division, the Patriot Pals, Call of Duty HVAC Warfare Veterans, and then the Amazon Prime Tactical Operators. And then I said Jaden Scott, Zach X, and Cam Higbee are coming back, I guess. And all I did was post the video he made. I added something to it though. Hold on. I added something to you.
Cynthia in with 5 more channel memberships. Are you guys going to let Cynthia do all the hard work? W Cynthia in the chat. Really, really do appreciate it. Congrats to everyone who got a channel membership.
You guys can go watch it.
They've attacked our Patriot Crusaders, Cam Higbee, and we still have been running counter intel. I'm here, boots on ground in my bunker. I'm proud.
So I guess they didn't like the music that I added to kind of make it more listenable, because like the video sucks, but I wanted to make sure people knew like, hey, they're about to come back to Minneapolis and do this Patriot thing again. So they didn't like that. And then I'm here, like I've been here ready to start this stream and get back out and covering what's going on downtown. And I get sent a video from Anarchy Princess saying, yo, they found where you live. And up until this point, the only addresses I have out there are like
come on. As if they're actually going to do something to him. As if they're just going to show up and film a fucking video for clickbait on the internet. That's all they really care about. They're not going to hurt him. Come on.
My childhood, and nobody lives there anymore. Like, and so I've been like, haha, you found me, whatever. Oh, golly shucks. Like that's, I mean, and then you just let it go because they don't know where you live. But this is like they were outside of where I currently live, right? And that kind of changes it. That changes things. And obviously, because we got to play this smart, I can't handle it the way I want to, obviously. So I can't do that because that would ruin any opportunity to stop them from doing this again and whatever. So we got to do this the right way. And I've already got a police report in. I got to go back. This is why I went live to try to tell you guys what's happening. because I'm going to have to not cover the raids for like a couple days.
Oh, come
while
on.
I get this all handled.
What a baby.
I got to find out who the fuck let them in, because my apartment is supposed to be secure. You have to have a key fob to even get into it, or you have to be let in. So I got to find out who the fuck let them in, because it wasn't me. And then after that, get all the video footage and everything at the apartment, and then I'm going to the courthouse, and it's game time. Okay, immediately game time at the fucking courthouse today. So, and then we'll have options from there. But I have to do that right away, and then also I'm going to be touring new places to live, like right now. And I'm not kidding, like right now, because like I want to handle it the way I want to, but like that would ruin everything, and I can't. Sorry, like I got to do this the right way, so it also looks out for other people too, because they've been doing this, and like they have a roving circus around the country terrorizing communities. So this could be like,
you know what? It's like the gall of these fucking people. The gall of these people. Leftist activists have been positioning themselves outside of ICE facilities for almost a full year to dox the license plate information of people who work for ICE. They do that so they can track their cars around the city, find their hotels where they show up to harass them. Sometimes they even find their families and threaten their families. Like, they've been doing this for, and they justify it by saying, oh, they are the oppressor, the occupying force, like, whatever. Like, leftists have been doing shit that's way worse than anything that just happened to Mercado for a solid year. And now he wants to get on. They found out where I live. You know what? Buy a fucking gun, bro. Buy a fucking gun. Like, problem solved. My address has been doxed on the internet for like years and years and years. Do you know why no one comes to fuck with me? Because we have a massive amount of guns and knives in the house, you stupid motherfucker. Also, I live in New Hampshire. No one wants to come out here, which is fine with me. I don't really care. Welcome to the cult. We really appreciate you being here. Your life is over. You're never leaving. But, you know, you'll have friends during the apocalypse.
Like an additional gut punch to that. So, because, I mean, he's already violating some court order in Michigan or something. So, I mean, this will just make it harder for him to continue to terrorize people. And I got enough support on the channels and my social media to where like moving is not going to be tough. Like, yeah, it sucks. I like where I live, but like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got to move. I got to get out of there. It is what it is. Oh, because I filmed that. Okay. So because documents were out in North Minneapolis because federal agents decided to leave vehicles behind that were bait vehicles. That means that I get to be doxxed and I get to have right-wing agitators show up to my door.
Wow,
is that what it
bro,
is?
wow.
So are you
Really
saying on
tough.
record then that the FBI and are you troll saying?
Guys, it's so difficult for Mercado Media to be a left-wing YouTuber. It's basically the hardest job in the history of the world. It's basically impossible for him to even accomplish anything like driving around in his car all day chasing ICE vehicles. So hard, so difficult, nearly impossible.
Saying that the federal government is using these agitators in retaliation? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's basically.
Are you guys gonna say that on record?
Being Mercado Media and having to be a left-wing YouTuber in Minneapolis is basically like the Holocaust. Exactly. It's that tragic. Yo, Greek Heat in with the 20 channel memberships. W's in the chat for Greek Heat. Awesome, bro. Really appreciate it. Super generous support. Welcome to the 20 new members of the channel. You will get access to Spy Stream in a little bit, and that's awesome.
I can screenshot my chat and we can add it to what's about to happen here. Is that what you're suggesting? Because that would be bad. You can all find it on my Instagram. So if you guys want to go share out what's happening on my Instagram, I posted it there. It's on Facebook. I'm going to post it in the Discord as well, and you guys can get it. So, and then the only context you need was I posted out a video of him in his bunker. I didn't edit his words. I didn't cut up his video. I added music to it, But I put his video out saying they're coming back to Minneapolis, and I was actually supposed to get down there and cover whatever fucking rally they're about to do, which I've already done. We covered he's in Jake Lang's crew. This is that Jake Lang crew that you've seen outside the Whipple building. Let me see. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not doing shit. That's what I'm saying. I want to handle it the way I want to handle it, but there's a right way to handle it. We got to do that instead. He's got Erica Kirk eyes.
Wow.
It's this one.
Wow.
Erica Kirk eyes. Look at this.
Wow.
It's this one. Okay. You guys have all seen it. Thank you, Gene, on my blue sky. You guys have all seen him. He's gone viral. Gone viral for being crazy. So that's the one that.
I don't even know
who his little camera guy was, but we'll figure it out. Based upon height, I can tell you. Based upon who the accomplice is on the height, I'll tell you who it was. Well, I gotta go home and look at it though. I gotta go home and get the videos. So go watch it on Instagram. You can go see, and then their response to me saying, "Hey, the circus is coming back," is to go to where I live and then post a video outside my door. So it's all there. I'll post it on the Discord. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to. I mean, I got to handle all this. I don't have home safety right now. So I got to go handle all that. And I appreciate everybody that's been reaching out. Just share the video out. I don't care now. I'm moving anyways. You can support.
Mercado, the moral of the story here is that Mercado Media is an abused snowflake, and he is put upon and oppressed by the entire world. And it's basically too difficult for him to even function. All right, thank you, Mercado, for that update about you crying about someone showing up at your house to record a video. Effectual insurrection over on Rumble. Thanks for the rant. I'm finishing my continuing education has to be done by tomorrow for state, but I'm lurking, friend, and keeping it real. And fuck Mercado. He is not impartial. He is a leftist agitator. So true. So true. Effectual insurrection. We appreciate you. All right, guys, just so you know, we will be doing a spy stream in a little more, like about 40 minutes or so. We're going to conclude this stream to go to spy stream. If you've never been to spy stream before, it is when we infiltrate a live leftist training, or tonight, possibly two. I say possibly two because this schedule is a little bit weird. We are definitely going to do one. We will possibly do two. It just depends on a couple of things. Because the left is doing these anti-ICE trainings all the time. And I want to know what they're talking about, and I want to know how they're strategizing, and I want to know how they're organizing. So what we do for Spy Stream is we get together and we watch the training together. We do not disrupt their training. We do not cause any problems. They don't know we're watching, or they probably will tonight, but there's not fuck off they can do about it because they don't know what name I'm watching under. So, and we just listen to them and we record them, and occasionally we release clips publicly, and occasionally those clips go viral, and occasionally those clips get people fired from their jobs or causes problems for them or exposes something that they didn't realize they were saying out loud because they thought they were talking to their friends, but they really weren't just talking to their friends. And so we're going to go do that. And, yesterday we did have a leftist try to expose me to the people I was recording, but I've decided that this actually makes it more fun for me to do this because, again, there's really nothing they can do to stop me. They don't know what name I'm doing it under. Thank you, Tom, for becoming a member of the channel. Welcome, welcome, bro. We appreciate it. So that is going to start in round about 40 minutes or so, 35, 40 minutes. How you get access to that is you have to be a supporter of my work. You can be a supporter as a YouTube channel member, which many of you are. You can be a supporter on my Substack. You can be on my Rumble channel. You can be a Locals member. You can be a Patreon supporter, or you can be a Twitter subscriber. You will find the link to the stream on whatever platform you're on. And so for most of you now, that's going to be YouTube. And I just want to make sure people know where to find it on YouTube, because there was some confusion about this yesterday. Where I post the links to Spy Stream, it is not a member stream on YouTube because I have to bring in people from other platforms as well. But this is where you find the link if you're a YouTube channel member. You go to my channel homepage, you go to the post tab, and it will be the top post in the post tab. I'm not a member of my own channel under this particular account. and so you can't see it on this one. But if you were a channel member, you could see that the link would be posted on that post tab. So that is where you can find it. And join us at 6:30, 6:45 tonight for Spy Stream. But until then, oh, Joe Kennedy's speaking. Joe Kennedy's speaking. Do you guys want to hear Joe Kennedy talk about immigration? This might actually be funny as shit. Hang on. Let's go back to the beginning of his speech. This guy is a fucking riot. Like, if this guy gets into, like, this is like a congressional thing that's going on right now about immigration. Do you guys want to listen to Joe Kennedy talk? Because he's fucking hilarious if you've never listened to him talk before. Not all the time. Sometimes he's serious, but I think we should listen to him talk. Learn to code effectual insurrection. Yeah, totally. All right. Breaking news. Let's listen to Senator Kennedy talk about immigration. We'll rewind to the beginning and give him, we might not even get to Keith Ellison today, unironically. Let's see what he had to say.
Out America tonight are going to lie down and try to sleep and not be able to. And when moms and dads throughout America lie down to sleep and can't, more times than not in America today, they're worried about the cost of living. I get that. These high prices started under President Biden, but that's not why I'm here today. I don't want to blame this on anyone. It is what it is. I just know that you shouldn't have to sell blood plasma in America to go to the grocery store.
So real.
I just know that you ought to be able to afford a home in America. It's part of the American dream. The cost has gotten way out of hand. When you're having to pay $500,000 if you can get a loan to buy and live in a refrigerator box behind Outback, something's wrong in our country.
The refrigerator box behind the
Don't get me
Outback.
started on the cost of health care and health insurance and all the other daily expenses that moms and dads have. They're worried, and I understand they're worried. That's why I want to talk for a few minutes before I talk about Minneapolis, because I do want to address that. But that's why I want to talk for a few minutes about taxes. And I know some may be thinking, why does Kennedy just talked about the cost of living in America. Why does he want to talk about taxes? I know people think I don't like paying taxes.
I don't like paying
They're
taxes
thinking,
either.
I'd
You guys
rather,
like paying taxes?
I'd rather have to listen to OJ jokes for the rest of eternity than to have to pay taxes.
So
Nobody
real,
likes
Joe
to pay
Kennedy.
taxes.
So
It's the price
real.
we pay to live in a civilized society. But this year we have some good news with respect to taxes. And it's a result of changes to our tax code, Mr. President, and you know this well, that we made in the One Big Beautiful Bill. We're told not to call it the One Big Beautiful Bill anymore. There's a new name for it, but frankly, I think the American people are smart enough to know what we're talking about, no matter what name we give to it. As a result of the changes that we made, and when I say we, I don't take any joy in having to point out that this was done with only Republican votes. We tried to entice our Democratic friends to join with us. They chose not to.
I don't
their
take
choice.
any joy
It's a
in
free country.
diminishing the role of
But
the
tax
Democrats.
changes that we made were made solely with Republican votes, and I'm proud of them. And I hope both Republicans and Democrats take advantage of them. As a result,
I love how Southern people can just be complete and total assholes as long as they do it in a delightful Southern way. Now, I don't take any joy in letting people know the Democrats had nothing to do with that.
result of these tax changes, the American people are going to receive up to $100 billion in tax refunds. $100 billion.
Bless their
Not
heart.
billion. $100 billion. What am I talking about? Many people, as you know, Mr. President, who are in the hospitality business are no longer going to have to pay for their 2025 taxes on tips.
Yeah, me neither.
Not everybody. I don't want to overstate the case. But many of our people in the hospitality industry.
Yo, no taxes on tips, best thing Trump's ever done. If they raise the limit on no taxes on tips beyond $25,000, I will vote for Trump for a third term. I'm not even joking. Yes, super chats are considered tips. If you guys want to send me a tax-free tip right now, I have not made $25,000 yet in super chats this year. So you can feel free to send me a tax-free tip.
Make most of their income from tips as a result of the changes we made for 2025, we meaning the Republicans, are not going to have to pay taxes on a portion of those tips.
We meaning us,
many
not
folks
them.
in 2025, not everyone, but many people in 2025 who worked overtime. They're not going to have to pay taxes, income taxes on that overtime. That also is contributing to this $100 billion that's going to be returned to the American people in tax refunds. In our one big beautiful bill, we also increased the standard deduction for a two-parent or two-income household. We increased the standard deduction by $1,500. It's going to mean a lot of money back in people's pockets.
Sweet.
The standard deduction for joint filers is now $31,500. As we were making these tax changes, and we again, regrettably, we did it with only Republican votes. We had to.
That's like the third fucking time in this speech he's been like, now I just want to remind you, the Democrats had nothing to do with this, y'all. 3 fucking times within 5 minutes.
But as we made these tax changes, we also put in a tax reduction for our seniors. People over 65, not everybody, but many Americans over 65 are going to get a new $6,000 senior reduction. What else did we do? Well, if you pay state and local taxes, real estate taxes, for example, property taxes, we changed the deduction from $10,000 to $40,000.
Oh, yeah? Matt Morse just started talking about the hotlines. Where'd he get that bright idea? Did he say where he got the... Now, here is the test, Matt Morse. Did he say where he got the idea, Elizabeth? Is Matt Morse intellectually honest, or is Matt Morse not intellectually honest? See, this is the virtue of me putting out all that crowdfunding shit where everyone knows it comes from. Did Matt Morse happen to mention where he got the bright idea about the hotlines? Not yet. No, he hasn't said it yet. Does anyone want to go over to Matt Morse's chat and just remind him that he got that idea from somewhere, that he didn't come up with that idea on his own? And perhaps if he's talking about the hotlines, perhaps that he should say where he got that bright idea, because perhaps he didn't come up with that idea on his own. I'm just saying, this is a test, guys. I am deadly serious about this. I put this information out into the world with the sincere hope that people would report on it and use it. That's the God's honest truth. But it is also a test to see who is intellectually honest and who is not intellectually honest. So if Matt Morris wants to tell his audience where he all of a sudden got the bright idea of the hotlines, which no one was talking about before today, let me know.
So that means you have a higher deduction on your taxes, means your taxes are going to go down. We increased the child tax credit. It's now $2,200 for every child that you have. We increased it by $200 per child. Many folks, again, I don't want to overstate the case, but many folks who have borrowed money to buy a car and are paying interest will get to
I don't know. Someone just said he was talking about it somewhere.
of that interest that they pay on their automobile.
No. Just to be very clear, we never raid. We never do that. I am not telling people to raid. I am not saying that at all. I don't want anyone spamming anyone's chat. I don't want anyone being an asshole. I'm just saying that someone said Matt Morris was talking about those hotlines, and I gently suggested that perhaps someone should go and ask him where he got that information. That's it. When we go into people's chats, we just do a question, a single question, because I can get in trouble otherwise, and you guys don't want me to get in trouble, do you? We behave like adults here. Hang on. Did I get that super? No, I didn't get a super chat. I thought I got a super chat. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Oh.
And I could go on about other changes we made for small businesses. One in particular, if you're if you're a sub-S corporation, a subchapter S corporation, or you're a limited partnership, or what we call an...
Okay, Joe, can you get to the ICE stuff, please? I'm sorry, I'm fast forwarding. He's talking too slow.
Republicans, then they owe the IRS.
Okay, still talking about taxes. Hang on. Still talking about taxes, Joe.
There's a lot we know.
ICE, thank you.
There's a lot we don't know. I want to talk about 3 things we do know.
Exactly.
Number one, the loss of life in Minneapolis was a tragedy. And if you can't admit that, you have a padlock on your heart. It was a tragedy. We don't have all the facts. I know everyone's seen the videos, but the people involved we haven't been interviewed. There are a lot of facts we have, but a lot of facts we don't have. And I am not going to rush to judge. I'm not going to rush to judge. President Trump has promised a full and thorough and transparent investigation.
Yo, thanks for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Tough love.
But regardless of what we find out, we all have to concede. We all should concede that the loss of life in Minneapolis was a tragedy. And I'm sorry it happened. Number 2, this is the second thing that I know. You don't have to be Einstein's cousin. You don't have to be a senior at Caltech to know that illegal immigration is illegal.
So true. So real.
It's illegal. And those of us who believe that no one is above the law, we all say we believe that. I believe it. No one, those of us who say that no one is above the law have to concede that people in our country illegally are not above the law either. The law applies to them as well. Our immigration statutes are not second-tier laws. They matter just as much as the other statutes that have been passed by the elected members of Congress. And just like the other laws, the immigration laws have consequences and should have consequences if you violate them. Now, so I guess what I'm saying, Mr. President, is I support enforcement of our immigration laws. Now, how you enforce those laws, matters. Those laws, like all laws, have to be enforced in accordance with due process. Those immigration statutes, like all laws, have to be enforced in accordance with equal protection. Those laws have to be enforced in accordance with a well-known Supreme Court case, 1968, called Terry v. Ohio, which sets forth the standards. Reasonable suspicion is the standard chosen by the Supreme Court, by which someone can be stopped and questioned when a law enforcement official doesn't have probable cause. Terry v. Ohio has to be followed. So number one, illegal immigration is illegal. We should enforce our immigration laws, but how we enforce them matters. Third and final point. You have the right to protest in America.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hey,
You
guys,
have
do you know why the left will always win and we will always lose? Because of this bullshit right here.
Right to protest in America. You do not have the right to protest violently.
All right. Well, we're getting somewhere now.
And in fact, violence, as you protest, undermines the morality of the thing that you're protesting over. Let me say that again. Violence, if you choose violence when you protest, that undermines the morality of the movement that you say your movement is based upon.
Well, they disagree, Joe.
You know who else understood that? Dr. King.
Oh, I fucking knew it. You know who the real racists are, y'all? The Democrats. Because I'm going to quote Martin Luther King to make my point, and that means I am not racist because it is really the Democrats who are the racists.
King understood it. Gandhi understood it. Mandela understood it. Violently protesting, not protesting, but violently protesting undermines the morality that you say your cause is built upon. It's also dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous and it's stupid. It's 12-piece bucket of stupid. Because when you protest violently, when you interfere with a cop or an ICE officer, it's not going to end well.
Oh, is it John, not Joe? Am I wrong about that?
Under the best of circumstances,
Senator Kennedy.
These officers are trying to
I mixed up
enforce
with the other one. I
federal
mixed
law.
them up. John, sorry.
And the people with respect to whom they're trying to enforce federal law.
I mixed him up with that redhead from Massachusetts, didn't I? Whatever. It was one of them, and they're both their names speaking with J. Okay, I had the last name right.
Or in most cases, I'm not going to say all cases, but in most cases,
I'm not from Louisiana.
Not criminals because they're here illegally, though that too is a violation of our law, but criminals because they have violated other laws, in many cases felonies. And those ICE officials, those cops are scared. They're scared. They're dealing with someone who could be armed, someone who could be dangerous. So you've got a powder keg. And when protesters choose to protest violently and harass those ICE officials and blow whistles in their ears and block their way and spit in their faces and curse them and curse their children, they're giving off sparks.
They
in
are.
a powder keg.
Yep, true.
And it's not going to end well in many cases. And the truth of the matter is, it's been my experience in life, I'm not going to say all, most cops will leave you alone unless you do illegal stuff.
Yep.
So as we go forward in America and try to enforce our laws in conformity with the United States Constitution, as we go forward together in America, and while we're respecting people's constitutional rights, we respect our law enforcement officials who are doing a very difficult job.
All right, this is boring now. Let's go to Keith Ellison. I'm sorry, I listened for a while. He isn't really being funny or quippy. He's just basically saying laws are laws, y'all, and illegal means illegal. We've got about maybe 15 minutes left, so we're not going to be able to get much of this Keith Ellison interview in, but I do want to listen to a little bit of it. This is an interview that Keith Ellison did about 4 days ago with Vox about why Trump is obsessed with Minnesota, and maybe, let's see. Trump's threat, defund the police. Let's maybe start the Minneapolis protest ones. Let's start in the middle of the interview and just see where this goes.
And this is not, again, I don't want to be placing blame on individuals.
Yeah, you're
with
asking
less
a good
power
question.
in this, but I want to put it in front of you. Like, these are peaceful protests, yes, but they are disruptive ones. And there are folks who are coming out with the purposes of, at minimum, annoying ICE, but at maximum, disrupting some of their activities. And we've heard that even from folks who go out on these things. Are those actions contributing to the environment of fear that we see?
Look, in America, you have a right to express your views and peacefully assemble. That exercise of your right may be annoying to someone else. There's no guarantee under the First Amendment that everyone that speaks will say things that you find pleasing and agreeable. But the problem is exceeding the boundaries of the law.
But what about things like blocking them on the street? What about things like, some of the whistles that we have seen?
See that whistle. Let's talk about whistles. How is blowing a whistle impeding the lawful exercise of a warrant for the arrest of an undocumented person? Now, can you assault an ICE officer? No, you're going to be arrested for that. Can you
impede them?
Well, like, define that word though. I mean, because what they say impeding and what a court might say is impeding is different. So can you physically block them? No, you can't do that. You can't. You cannot physically block them. Can you criticize them as you're not blocking them? Yes, you can. There's a whole range of conduct that Kristi Noem wants to say is impeding, but it's not impeding. It's First Amendment protected activity. And there are laws that, people, have to obey, like obstruction of legal process. But that is not just interrupting, it's interfering, right? These things do make a difference, right?
I guess I'm saying, have Democratic officials done enough to tell their own kind of activist community, even though I know some of, tell their own kind of protest anti-ICE community about that distinction? Have they done enough to make clear that these folks are doing what you say in terms of peacefully protesting and not obstructing?
Thank you.
I think the answer is clearly yes, because there has not been. Look, there are some people who've broken the law and they've been arrested. And by the way, as a person who got arrested protesting in my youth, when you decide to do civil disobedience, you know what's coming next. But that's not been what most people are doing.
Trump has also consistently threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act.
He has.
And he has said that specifically about Minnesota, even recently. I want to, for folks who don't know, let's be clear that the Insurrection Act would allow Donald Trump to deploy federal forces without congressional authority, what could amount to a seeming federal occupation of Minnesota.
Right.
I wanted to know, have you all had, as Democratic state officials, had conversations about what to do if Donald Trump does invoke the Insurrection Act?
Of course.
What is a plan of pushback? I mean, how would the state respond to that level of escalation?
In court. This is something that can be tested and challenged in court, and we would do so. We've been thinking that this is a possibility and have been hoping that it didn't happen, but planning for the eventuality if it did.
What would a federal what Insurrection Act mean for Minnesotans? Like what would Minnesota under the Insurrection Act mean?
It would mean that we had federal active duty troops patrolling our streets. It would mean that they'd probably be guarding ICE as ICE went about what it does, which is concerning because the way ICE does its business is been proven over and over again to be deeply problematic. It would not mean that the elections would be suspended. That's something that people should know. The Insurrection Act does not give Trump the right to suspend the election. We will that, but like putting troops, active duty troops in the streets of Minnesota is extremely problematic. I mean, the reason that the framers of the Constitution broke with Imperial Britain is over this, you know? And so it's hard to describe how bad it would be and damaging for our society. Plus, the Insurrection Act requires that the president show that the local authorities have been overwhelmed and can't do the job or won't do the job. And neither one of those things are true.
I think even about the defund the police kind of slogans that came out of some of the George Floyd summer, and people now looking at the calls to abolish ICE and wondering if those things are the same thing. I wanted to put that in front of you as someone who's seen both of those things up close. When you hear calls now to abolish ICE, what do you think about that? And is that the solution for Minnesota?
But the slogan was on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
But what they were saying was more reform-ish. So, and then next thing you know, every Republican in America is accusing Democrats of defund the police.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that was always a political strategy because Republicans correctly said no, that most people do like their police department and even low-income Black community.
There's no universe in which Keith Ellison is a socialist. Why? Why do I say this? This is the first time I've heard Keith Ellison talk in years. And within, what was that, less than 5 minutes? There is no universe in which Keith Ellison is a socialist. Why do you guys think I said that? Let me know in the chat.
Tend to say, we want good police, but we don't want to get rid of the police.
Yeah, well, let's sit here for a second, because I do think that what you're saying is important in that it was not a mass call from the Democratic Party or Democratic elected officials to say defund the police. And I think,
he's calling for police reform. Socialists would never call for police reform. They're abolitionists. Like, strictly, they denounce any reformism. This is why you listen to the left, guys. You got to understand what they think.
The event you're talking about, it was more of an activist push,
right?
That was around politicians,
right?
More so than it was Democrats kind of embracing it themselves,
right?
I guess I would say then, before we get to the abolish ICE part, did Democrats do enough then to make the distinction you're talking about and say,
he's
hey,
not lying.
Yes, the activists are saying this,
guys,
but we know
he's not lying. This is not 4D chess. This is actually what he believes.
Our communities want some form of reform, because I don't think that was that clear at the time.
As a politician, I would say, look, I work with law enforcement. We embrace and lift up our members of law enforcement who live up to the high standards we ask of them, and the ones that don't deserve to be police officers. And then my Republican opponents would say, you're for defund the police. It was a political slogan that they were buying ads to try to perpetuate.
You gotta answer my question though. Were Democrats too deferential to activist language at that time?
I would say, what I'm trying to say is no, but obviously we could have maybe done more because too many people believe that narrative. But I would say that as a person, and what I was offering myself as one. So what I mean is, if I stop and say, and just all I do is just completely devote myself
into super chat, I really do appreciate it. Do you think Trump would have used the Insurrection Act if he had owned hotels in? Unironically, Peter, yeah, I do. Yeah. I actually do. Trump doesn't have any skin in the game in Minnesota. That's why he's not invoking the Insurrection Act. You're actually probably 100% right. Well played, good sir. Well played.
Refuting this false claim, then they've got me still, even if I convince people, half the people that I never said defund the police, the reality is the people who might just vote for me, they want to hear me talk about wages and housing and healthcare, but I'm not talking about that because I'm talking about what they're trying to make me talk about. So that
They're trying to make me talk about this. They're trying to make me talk about this. There's no universe in which he's a socialist. A factual insurrection. Ilhan husband who claimed to have ran a $60 billion venture capital hedge fund worked on Keith Ellison campaign, but nothing to see here. And Somalia's got to let off after they donated to his campaign. Yep, I appreciated a factual insurrection. Thanks so much for the Rumble rant. Yeah, he sounds like a liberal. Isn't it funny? Guys, isn't it funny that after you actually start listening to the far left, it becomes so clear. For people who are newer, you might not understand this. When you actually spend as much time as we do listening to the far left, it is extremely clear who is on the far left and who is not on the far left just based on listening to them talk. If you're new and you don't hear it yet, I promise you, you will learn it over time.
is sort of the catch-22 of the Democratic politician.
But one thing I will say is, just to belabor the point.
Yeah.
Did Democrats present a affirmative vision of criminal justice reform, of law enforcement reform in that summer that counterbalance defund the police enough?
I would say, as a person who likes to be real with myself, maybe we could have, or maybe we should have. I will tell you that one group of people would say we talked about it too much and we should have spent more time talking about an affirmative vision.
Sure.
And then there's some people who say we didn't refute the negative vision enough. At the end of the day,
all right. So I don't know why people
Democrats
said
had a tough year, and maybe we could have done more. Maybe we should have done more.
Guys,
now in this moment,
guys, he was never Antifa, guys. He was holding it up like a Democrat holds it up to say, I'm against fascism. He was holding it up as a joke. He wasn't holding it up because he ideologically agreed with it. He probably never even read it. Again, this is one of those things where, like, conservatives take something out of context. They don't understand what is going on. They twist it. It was a virtue signal. They twist it to mean something it didn't mean. And then they make all these assumptions based on it. Guys, he doesn't even have the same cadence. And no, he's not. No, he's not. No, you did not hear that, because there is no universe, bro, in which a evil communist is not going to support police abolition. There's no universe. There is no universe where that is good, where that is the case. There are zero fucking communists who don't support police abolition. There are zero communists who support police reform. It does not align with their ideology at all. You probably don't understand this because you consume too much conservative bullshit media, but no, he is not. He is not. Communists speak with a certain cadence. They use very specific language. There are things that I'm sorry. Are we all getting on the retard train? He is a communist. He is a communist. I swear. I don't even know what capitalism means to the left, but I swear he is a communist because I don't like him. He must be this is you guys. He must be. I don't like him. He has to be a communist. No, he is not. He is a progressive. He is a liberal, progressive, supports capitalism, doesn't want to overthrow the establishment. He is a progressive that does not want to overthrow the government. There is no universe, guys. I'm sorry. And again, all I need to know about him is he does not support abolish the police. There is not a single communist in this universe that is going to go against abolish the police. That is one of their main organizing principles. They never go against it. He's trying to trick people. No, he's not. No, he's not. That would never happen. So this is a situation where people need to really hinge back into reality There is a real far left that is a real threat that does really what this is. You know what this is? This is a perfect example of conservatives shooting themselves in the foot. They focus all their attention on the one Democrat that they don't like. He is a communist. He is a communist. He must be a communist. Thank you, Chuck, for the gifted channel memberships. W's in the chat for Chuck. When you guys are focusing all your energy on one person, he is a communist, he's a communist, but he's not a communist. Guess what happens? You're looking over here. The real communists are operating over here behind your back. You guys are the very definition of being distracted by the magician's assistant. The magician is over here, and he's doing the trick over here. But guess what? The magician's assistant in the form of Keith Ellison is over here. And Ilhan Omar goes in the same bucket, guys. The magician's assistant in the form of Keith Ellison is over here. And she's wearing a sparkly dress and she's twirling around the stage and she's got her tits out and her ass out. And every single person, especially the men, are distracted by the magician's assistant when the magician is over here performing the trick. When you guys are having massive... They are communists! They are! You're not paying attention to the actual fucking communists, and this is when the actual fucking communists win. This is not pedantic. This is not unimportant. This is the whole fucking ball game. If you guys don't know who your enemy is, you are constantly looking in the wrong fucking direction and have the wrong fucking goals. And when you do that, the enemy just keeps winning and you assholes just keep losing. So keep crying if you want to. Say, he is. No, he is. No, he is. He has to be a communist. Fox News told me he was a communist. Keep whining and complaining and doing that all you want, and the far left will continue to kick your ass up and down the playing field, and there is not a single fucking thing you can do about it because you don't even know who your enemy is. And this, guys, is why I say all the time that when you are new to this, the number one thing you have to do is learn. You have to learn to speak the language. For literally every single person who watches my content regularly, it is resoundingly obvious that Keith Ellison is not a socialist. It is obvious just by hearing him talk. If you haven't watched my content, you probably don't know that. W's for Cynthia in the chat, getting another 5 channel memberships in. Really do appreciate it, my dear. Thanks so much. Guys, we have almost 60 new members of the channel tonight. And that means we have 60 more people who can join us for a spy stream. What's going to happen now is I'm going to end this stream. And if you are a YouTube channel member, I need you to go over to, I'll show you, my channel homepage, click on the post tab, and you will find the link to Spy Stream. Spy Stream is where we go inside a live leftist training and we watch it live. If you don't want to be a YouTube channel member, you can join over on my Substack. You can also join on my locals. You can find it in your Twitter subscriptions. You can join it on Patreon. Rumble, I'm going to hook you guys up separately. I'm going to do the same thing I did yesterday. Okay, for people in the chat who know what I did yesterday, I'm going to do the same thing today for you guys over on Rumble, so don't worry about it. Lance, W's in the chat for Lance becoming a YouTube channel member. Really do appreciate it, bro. We are going to go watch a live anti-ICE training. If you have never seen an anti-ICE training before, now is the way that you can go and see what the left is really saying and doing in these trainings. We specifically will be watching a training that is hyper relevant to Minnesota. We may even watch the second one after that. There's 2 going on tonight. We might get 2 in. We might not. We might only get 1. We're going to have to see how it goes. But for right now, we're going to end the stream. Guys, I will be back at 5 p.m. tomorrow or earlier if there's other stuff going on. I am on Rumble. I am indeed on Rumble. I'm on Rumble, Twitter, Kick, and YouTube, as it turns out. All right, we're going to end this stream. We're going to get started with our spy stream. I will be back at 5 p.m. tomorrow or earlier if there's protest stuff for other people. And thanks for coming out today, guys. Thank you to everyone who sent in super chats. Thank you to everyone who bought channel memberships. I am 100% completely funded by people like you. I cannot do this without you. So thank you for allowing me to do what I do. I have the best job in the world, and you guys make it possible. I will catch you on the flip side. See you soon.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Would you give me some idea?
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them. I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do, and this influences my thinking and consequently my action.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.